Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads, it's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
Train them to become your army?
Elora widened her big round eyes, staring blankly at Zayn Martel. She thought there was something wrong with Zayn Martel's mind. These beasts were all devoid of spiritual intelligence. Taming them would be incredibly difficult. Moreover, they had been living in the wild for who knows how many years. Training them seemed impossible. Zayn Martel seemed to have read Elora's mind.
You don't believe me. How about we make a bet?
Elora smiled suddenly, deciding to onboard Zayn Martel's crazy idea.
Okay, I'll wait and see how you do it. How would you like to make a bet?
Zayn Martel smirked.
If I manage to tame these Flameclaws well, you'll have to give me a kiss.
Hearing this request, Elora's face turned red. Although they were lovers now, their intimacy was still limited to hugging and holding hands. The only exception was that one time Zayn Martel had grabbed her. She looked at him with resentment, scolding him as a hooligan, and then agreed to the bet. Since then, Zayn Martel seemed very motivated and passionate to win the bet.
Elora, you'd better prepare yourself. Let me think where I should let you kiss me.
Elora was shocked and hurriedly said,
What do you mean where? Isn't it just a kiss on your cheeks? Where else do you want it?
Zayn Martel laughed evilly as he looked down at his own body. He purposefully glanced at Elora from the corner of his eye. Her face was flushed, like a cooked shrimp.
All right, I'll stop joking. I'm going to think about how I'm going to tame them.
Zayn Martel suddenly became serious. He slowly flew over and stopped in the air. The Flameclaw flying in that area finally noticed Zayn Martel, the fellow who had invaded their sky. Immediately it became furious. It roared and rushed towards Zayn Martel. An earth-shattering fire force burst out and rolled toward Zayn Martel. Zayn Martel's figure flashed as he disappeared. Then his limbs suddenly spread out, and he appeared on the back of one of the Flameclaws. He grabbed with both hands and feet, wrapping them around the Flameclaw's body like a pair of shackles. The beast seemed frightened. It flapped its huge wings and flew up into the sky, rolling and roaring in the air. When the other beasts saw this, they stretched out their iron claws and tried to grab Zayn Martel.
Stop!
However, the beast was too unruly and wasn't affected. Soon, Zayn Martel was thrown off its body.
No, I don't believe I can't do it.
He grabbed another Flameclaw, but no matter how hard he tried to hold it down, it still showed no sign of submission. The commotion soon alerted the beasts in the cave on the cliff. In an instant, hundreds of Flameclaws came out of the cave and flew into the air.
Stop!
Zayn Martel's brow creased as he released a pressure of the 9th level spirit level, enveloping the entire sky. However, these beasts were still beasts after all. The one that attacked Zayn Martel was only at the 5th level of the intermediate level, but it was not afraid of Zayn Martel. A loud, strange cry came from the depths of the cliff. Suddenly, all the beasts turned and flew toward the depths of the cliff.
Hey, what's going on? Why are they running away?
Elora wondered as she watched the scene, and then moved toward Zayn Martel. She wasn't really worried about Zayn Martel's safety. After all, these beasts were only in the intermediate level, and they wouldn't be able to hurt Zayn Martel. What was in the depths of the cliff? Why had all the Flameclaws suddenly retreated? Zayn Martel's determination burned brighter. This mystery needed solving, and his bet with Elora had taken an unexpected turn. Group of ants. They stood on the cliff waving their wings. There were more than 20,000 of them. Even Zayn Martel's expression changed when he saw this. Soon, Zayn Martel rode on one of the Flameclaws and entered an extremely large cave. The light in the cave was dim, but his eyesight was amazing. He could almost see everything. In the middle, two particularly huge beasts were hugging each other. They emitted a terrifying and powers that were suppressing them.
The peak of 9th level advanced level.
It was actually at the peak of the 9th level advanced level, a bit higher than Zayn Martel's level. They should be the leaders of these Flameclaws. The two Beast Kings were burly and huge, more than 10 meters tall. Their feathers were shining as if they had been polished by jade. A few red feathers in the dark black feathers seemed to have flames jumping above them. He seemed to have noticed that an uninvited guest had snuck in. Amongst them was the largest flame claw. Its gaze was like lightning as it directly spat out a mouthful of flame and shot toward Zane Martel.
The power of fire and major completion.
Zane Martel's expression changed. This fellow actually possessed the major completion of the power of fire. He dodged and stood in front of the two leaders, looking into their eyes.
Are you the leader here? I don't know if you can understand me, but please submit to me. Bring all of your people and submit to my feet. I will bring all of you out of this damn place and slaughter everyone outside. When the time comes, I'll let you have a good life, which is thousands of times better than here.
At this moment, the other beasts gathered around and made strange noises. They crawled forward as if they were welcoming their two leaders. One of the Beast Kings suddenly took a step forward and let out two angry roars. It flapped its huge wings, stirring up layers of hurricane, and rushed toward Zane Martel. Zane Martel's expression changed. He did not dare to be careless. Although the beast was only at the peak of the 9th level advanced level, it was still a descendant of the ancient Great Skywing and possessed extraordinary strength. Zane Martel strikes a fist. Both of them took a few steps back. They were equally strong.
How powerful. No wonder it's the leader among them. If this beast is placed outside, it can probably kill a martial artist at the first level of the expert level. Since you're so powerful, I'm even more interested. I must tame you and make you my mount.
The beast's gaze turned cold as it charged straight at Zane Martel. The fire feathers on its body grew brighter and a ball of flame erupted from it, enveloping its entire body. A fierce battle broke out between the man and the beast. Flames flew in the air and red flowers burst out in the air. It was extremely gorgeous. The entire mountain cave was shaking due to the clash between the two of them. Huge cracks appeared on the stone wall, which could collapse at any moment. What would happen next? Would Zane Martel be able to tame the beast and fulfill his promise to Elora? The tension mounted as the fierce battle raged on, the outcome uncertain and the stakes higher than ever. After exchanging blows, it was clear that the King of Flameclaws and Zane Martel were able to survive each other's attack. Zane Martel was in deep awe. He knew how strong he was at that moment. However, the King of Flameclaws was only at the advanced level, but was able to put up a fight with him. How powerful is that?
I'm not giving up. Surrender to me now.
Zane Martel exclaimed as he struck out his palm. The glaring golden light filled the entire cave and immediately lit up the surroundings. Huff! The King of Flameclaws spat out an explosive flame of the major completion stage. The two attacks collided with each other, stirring up a huge storm. The King of Flameclaws was finally sent flying by Zane Martel. He rolled twice in the air before it managed to stabilize its body again. Seeing this, the other King of Flameclaws started its attack. They were about to join forces and destroy Zane Martel, the intruder in their space. At this moment, Elora rushed into the cave to fight the King of Flameclaws, who was slightly smaller in figure. Zane Martel and Elora were each dealing with one. After exchanging blows, Zane Martel and Elora managed to gain the upper hand by knocking both the Kings of Flameclaws to the ground. However, they were unable to kill them.
Submit to me now, or you will die today.
Zane Martel said firmly, as he pressed down on the two Kings of Flameclaws. However, the Kings of Flameclaws were true leaders who were not willing to give up. They would rather risk their lives in battle than submit to Zane Martel. Meanwhile, Zane Martel and Elora could not help but admiration because of the spirit that the Kings of Flameclaws had. Compared to many humans, they had much more integrity and fearlessness. The two Kings of Flameclaws attacked Zane Martel again.
Elora, why don't we evacuate first? We'll come up with a way to tame these beasts before we leave. Now it seems that they would rather die than surrender to us.
Although Zane Martel had voiced his intention to kill them, he was never going to do so.
We can't leave now. Since they don't want to be tamed, I must tame them.
Then, Elora instantly cast a spell and made a seal. Layers of faint purple light emitted from her body, blooming like petals. The purple light was extremely strange in such a dark cave, very similar to the purple flowing light on those dead creatures. The purple light spread out and slowly condensed into a particularly huge human-shaped shadow in the sky. The figure looked very blurry, but it gave off an aura of the power of nature.
The aura of a dead creature?
Zane Martel's expression changed drastically. At this time, he was finally sure that the power of nature in Elora was the same as the flowing light in the bodies of those dead creatures outside. If those purple lights had allowed the dead spirits to possess an undying body, then it was very likely that Elora had mastered the power of death. There were a variety of categories under the power of nature: wind, fire, thunder, lightning, wood, water, metal, and earth, the land, the light, and the darkness. Naturally, it included the power of death and the living. However, compared to the wind, fire, thunder, and lightning, the power of death was much more mysterious. At the very least, among the people whom Zane Martel knew, only Elora possessed the power of death. The black shadow gave off a strong sense of oppression, and the smell of death, like an abyss, enveloped the whole place. Even Zane Martel felt a chill run down his spine.
What kind of power is this? How did Elora master something so terrifying?
As the purple light expanded, the kings of Flameclaws hesitated, their fierce determination wavering under the oppressive aura. But would they finally submit or fight back with renewed fury? The cave seemed to hold its breath, the outcome hanging in the balance as the purple light pulsed and the shadow loomed larger. What would happen next? Would Zane Martel and Elora succeed in taming the mighty Flameclaws, or would the mysterious power of death consume them all? When did Elora become so powerful? Zane Martel wondered, his surprise evident. As soon as the aura of death appeared, countless Flameclaws growled and trembled. They lowered their heads, unable to look at the horrifying figure above. The figure seemed omnipotent, capable of life and death. Only the two strongest kings of Flameclaws kept roaring, defiantly glaring at the black shadow in the sky. Though afraid, they were unwilling to yield, their eyes filled with killing intent.
Why are those two so stubborn? Let's see who is more qualified to be the leader.
Zane Martel made up his mind, circulating the dragon-devouring emperor technique within his body. Suddenly, a deep dragon roar emitted from his throat. Roar! An extremely terrifying dragon power erupted from Zane Martel, emitting a powerful and commanding aura, like a king of the earth had descended once again. It was a dragon, the highest rank among demonic beasts, the leader of all. The aura gave off a heavenly superiority, suppressing these demonic beasts from the depths of their bloodlines. Under the suppression of Zane Martel's dragon aura, the blood in the Flameclaws' bodies seemed affected, their hearts beating faster. The horror of the Dragon Clan was deeply engraved in their blood. The other Flameclaws were almost lying on their stomachs, their bodies trembling. Even the hundreds of Flameclaws of the 3rd or 4th level of the advanced level lay on their stomachs, unable to move. Finally, the two Beast Kings began to feel threatened. Their bodies trembled slightly, letting out mournful roars. Fear was evident in their eyes. Under the combined suppression of Zane Martel and Elora, the two kings of Flameclaws finally began to feel fear.
Surrender to me.
The power of the Dragon Clan that erupted from Zane Martel was even stronger than before. To all creatures, this was an undeniable command. He was a natural king giving orders to his subordinates. Finally, the two Beast Kings became fearful. Like the other beasts, they crawled on the ground in surrender, paying their respects to the sovereign.
Did we do it?
Zane Martel's eyes lit up. The larger Beast King let out a roar. The other beasts began to slowly walk toward Zane Martel and Elora, using the feathers on their bodies to rub against them. They acted like house pets.
We did it.
Zane Martel retracted the power of the Dragon Clan, and Elora did the same with the power of death. Zane Martel leaped forward and landed on the body of the King of Flameclaws, which was slightly larger than him. He used his hand to touch its dark black, crimson-red feathers.
Elora, we really managed to tame them. I've won the bet.
Elora also landed on the other King of Flameclaws, letting out a snort.
What do you mean you won? I managed to make them surrender too, so it's not considered your win.
How could you? You said you would give me a kiss if I managed to tame these Flameclaws.
Well then, I have no choice but to give you a kiss.
Zane Martel deliberately pouted his mouth in exaggeration, and it landed on Elora's face. As the cave settled into an uneasy calm, the question remained, what challenges awaited Zane Martel and Elora next? With the Flameclaws tamed, a new chapter in their journey was about to unfold. Stay tuned for the next part of this epic adventure, where the stakes grow higher and the mysteries deepen.